Let's start now. His first flight. We will study the topic line-wise. A really very inspiring story, especially those who want to achieve success in life. Ready? Let's start. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. Seagull is a seabird, and ledge, it's a narrow horizontal cell projecting is coming forward from a wall, but here it's a cliff. That sharp edge of mountain. Yes, that curve you might have seen. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. They went earlier day. He had been afraid to fly with them. Actually, they were successful to take a flight. But our young seagull was quite afraid because he was afraid to fly. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink, brink means actually it's edge, the corner of the ledge, and attempted to flap his wings, he became very afraid. Actually, he tried. He moved forward to fly. But as he came at the corner of that ledge, seeing this vast sea downside, he actually couldn't move forward. The great expanse of the sea stretched means moved down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. When he saw, our young seagull saw plain ground. Plain means actually it was not ground, it was sea, and it was very difficult for him to jump from the brink of the ledge and fly. Of course, he was afraid that he would smash down. Let's start. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. Means he was not sure about his wings. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole. Actually, here little hole means where he lived, where he resided, under the ledge where he slept at night. He tried, quite afraid, he came back to his house. His house means his destination. Maybe there might be a hole under that ledge. As you know, small birds or birds make their residence in the holes. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink. Actually, his siblings, brother and sister, wings were shorter compared to him. But they were successful. They ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away. Yes, they were successful. Compared to him, their wings were short. But they had great courage and they jumped away. But our young seagull failed to muster up courage to take that plunge, which appeared to him so desperate. Our young seagull failed to collect courage. Muster means courage. Muster means actually gather, collect. He couldn't gather courage to take the plunge. Plunge means flight here, jump, which appeared to him so disappointed. Yes, he couldn't, my dear student, he couldn't manage to get the courage. Do you understand? Yes. Means in short, in short we can say he was quite afraid to take the flight. Compared to him, his brother and sister were successful. They managed. But our young seagull, who is the prominent character of our story, was really very afraid. His father and mother, his parents, had come around calling to him shrilly. Actually, of course, parents, they were taking great efforts. They were constantly calling him. They were actually boosting his courage or maybe prompting his courage. Shrilly, shrilly means that unpleasant sound, generally birds chirp. Upbraiding him, sometimes they were scolding. When he was not listening, they were scolding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. They threatened him that if he didn't come, they would not give him food and he had to remain starved. But for the life of him, he couldn't move. For the life of him means actually he was very afraid. He was very afraid that he might lose his life, and because of that extreme fear, he couldn't move. That was 24 hours ago. Means 24 hours passed, he couldn't eat anything. His parents didn't pamper him about it. Since then, nobody had come near him. Just imagine, my dear, in birds, they never pampered. Sometimes you might have seen human being pampered the children. If he actually sometimes willful or haughty about something, parents give. But here we should learn from birds. His parents didn't entertain him by giving food. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight. He was just watching how his parents were teaching the art of flying to his brothers and sisters, and they were actually perfecting themselves in the art of flying or flight, teaching them how to skim means move the waves and how to dive for fish. His parents were busy teaching his brother and sister how to move, how to dive upon the waves and catch the fish. As you know, fish is the main food of that seagull birds. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring. Herring means it's a soft, fine sea fish, and with the help of his parents teaching, his brother caught the first fish of its life and devoured it, and happily they yes, enjoy it. As you know, you can imagine their joy. Till that they were eating ready-made food given by parents, but for the first time his brother caught the first fish and enjoyed that taste. You just can imagine how tasty it must be after doing his hard work. Standing on a rock while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle, and when his parents saw that his brother caught the fish for the first time, of course, parents were very happy. They were appreciating him, praising him. Just imagine, my dear student, suppose if you are successful and if you got your first payment, you can imagine what a great joy your parents will feel. Of course, it's a parent joy. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau, plateau level stretch on a mountain, plain ground. Midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. You know, cliff, the uh, steeping face, corner of the mountain. You can see in the picture, the corner where the end of the mountain is there. Taunting means actually, mocking, making fun him with his cowardice. All his siblings were not only siblings, even the parents were also. They were taunting him, mocking him, making fun of him. Actually, they were doing in a positive way. Tired of that fun or maybe mocking, he should move forward. It was their intention. They were not negative in this way. They were very positive in that taunting. Their only intention was he should come forward. The sun was now ascending the sky. It was midday. Sorry, sir. Very sorry. Blazingly shining on his leg that faced the south. Now it was quite sunlight. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. As you know, for 24 hours, his stomach was empty. And of course, his parents also didn't entertain him, giving him ready-made food. Now he was really hungry, and now he was feeling very hot now. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge. Now he came at the corner of that mountain. Standing on one leg, you can see the pictures. As he saw that his brothers were flying, he was again making some efforts. With the other leg hidden under his wing, one leg actually standing on that one leg, and the other leg hidden under his wing. He closed one eye, then the other. As you know, he was hesitant. He was not sure. He was afraid, and he closed the eye because from that he couldn't see. He couldn't, actually, what I'm to say, jump. He was afraid to jump. Yes, my dear, he was afraid to jump. And pretending to be falling asleep. Now he was just showing that he was asleep, but he was not asleep. How can he be asleep? Because he was very hungry, and he has been hungry for 24 hours. How can a hungry bird sleep? He was just pretending. Pretending, just making drama. Still, they took no notice of him. He wanted to show them that now I am asleep, but his siblings or family completely neglected him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. Now, because of comfortable food, he saw his brother and his sister lying on that plain ground in dozing, dozing, a short sleep, with their heads sunk into their necks. Actually, they were taking rest. Because of efforts, they managed to get food, and after getting food, they were somewhat sleepy. His father was preening, preening the meaning given, making an effort to maintain feathers. His father was just preening the feathers on his white back. He was managing his feathers and to maintain feather. As you know, some birds, how they maintain the feathers. Only his mother was looking at him. You can imagine mother's heart. All his siblings, brother, sister, they were dozing. Father was busy with something his feathers. But mother is mother, and you can imagine mother's heart. Of course, you can just imagine. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau. There was one raised rock, and she was looking at our young seagull. Her white breast thrust. Now, friends, let's start. She was standing on a high plateau, hump on the plateau, on a high hump, hump on the plateau. Her white breast thrust forward. You can imagine that she was on the plateau. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. And she was eating one fish. She was tearing out. As you know, birds catch their prey or suppose your fish with their feet and tore with its beak. The sight of the food maddened him. You can imagine when you are very hungry and food items or eatables are in front of you, just imagine your condition. The same way it was the condition. How he loved to tear food that way. Of course, he was hungry, and of course, he liked the food. Scraping his beak now and again to wait it. Now he was just imagining, dreaming that he would go and enjoy that food. Yes, ah, ah, ah. He cried, begging her to bring him some food, calling mother, ah, ah, ah. So, that birds, in our language, mommy, 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 give me food, ah, 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 like that. Ah, ah, ah. She screamed back derisively, in a manner showing someone that's stupid. But mommy said, God, nonsense. Come here, then I'll give you. Ah, 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 I want food. Ah, God. Yes, just I make acting like that. Yes, she didn't want that he should get ready-made food. But he kept calling plaintively, very sadly. Mommy, please give me food. I'm very hungry. Please give, please give, please give. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. Now there was one scene, there was one incident happen. He was happy because his mother had picked up a piece of fish and was flying across to him with it. He saw that his mother was coming. At last his mother listened to him. Mother was coming. He was happy that my mother would come and give me food. He leaned out eagerly. He leaned out eagerly. Lean out means, move forward, tapping the rock with his feet. Now he was ready. My mother would come and give me food, and I would taste it. He was ready with action, trying to get nearer to her as he flew across. As he saw that his mother was coming to him, as she was coming from that plateau, and he was on the cliff, and he thought that his mother would come and give me food. At last, his mother had pity with him, and he thought that she would come and give me food. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted. Oh, she came near. Of course, she came near, but she came to the place where he was. There was some distance. Her wings motionless. Now she stood there, or just remained at one place motionless. The piece of fish in her beak, almost within the reach of his beak. Now there was short distance between mother and the seagull. There was short distance between seagull and the fish. He waited a moment in surprise. He was surprised. Why mother is not coming to me? She came all along the distance, but coming near to me, why she is not coming very near to me? Wondering why she didn't come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he at last dived at the fish. You can imagine the condition. Mother came all along, but she kept some distance. Yes, friends, she kept some distance. With a loud scream, he fell outward. Now, looking at the fish, he couldn't control. Without thinking about that plateau, about that sea, about that cliff, about that slope, everything, he forgot everything and he jumped at the fish. Imagine you are very hungry after playing 2-3 hours. Directly from main door to kitchen you jump. It might have happened with you. With a loud scream, he fell outward and downward into space. At last, he made a loud scream. He was feeling that, what did I do? Means what I have done? I jumped into space. It was unexpectedly happened with him. Then a monstrous, means very great terror caught him, seized him. Now he was afraid. He didn't imagine that he flew and left the cliff. He came into the space, or maybe that open space, and his heart stood still. Now he was very afraid. What I have done? He could hear nothing. Now he was just in the air. But it only lasted a minute. Only some minute he was afraid. The next moment he felt his wings spread outward. He had no option but to fly. He was afraid, and he had no option but to open its wings. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. Now he felt that he opened his wings and he felt the rushing of wind against his body under the, especially feathers, under his stomach. He could feel the tip of his wings cutting through the air. Because it was his first flight. And he felt that he was tearing out the air. He was not falling headlong now. Now he was not falling in front. He was soaring, means flying gradually downward and outward. Now he was enjoying that flight. He was soaring gradually downward and outward. He was flying. He was no longer afraid. My dear, he was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. He was somewhat unconscious balance, or lost his balance a bit only. But then he flapped his wings once. He soared upward, but he could manage. After all, he was a bird. He opened his wings and again fly upward. My dear student, no one teaches the fish to swim. No one teaches the birds to fly. As you know, it's nature's gift to everyone. Caw, 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 caw. His mother swooped past him. Now his mother was very happy. His mother was flying with him. Her wings making a loud noise. You can imagine the mother's joy that her son was flying. He answered her with another scream. So he was also with her mother, with his mother. Then his father flew over him screaming. Father joined. Means you can imagine, my dear, his parents' joy. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting, banking, soaring, diving. He saw his brothers, his sister, his siblings. They were also very happy. They joined his flight because they also wanted him to do this for a long time. Now they were quite happy that the young seagull at last learned the art of flying. Parents were quite happy. Of course, his siblings also, brother and sister. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly. He forgot his earlier tension. Once he thought that he couldn't fly. Now he was flying and commended himself. He appreciated himself to dive and soar means jump or fly, curve, shrieking freely. Now he mustered courage. He forgot his negative thoughts. He was successful. He appreciated himself. He jumped. He curved. He was making curve. Now he was shouting freely. Actually, he was also very happy. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. Now he was near the sea, flying straight over the sea, facing straight out over the ocean. Now he was flying. You can imagine what a great joy. He saw a vast green sea beneath him. Suddenly he saw there was a vast green sea beneath him with little ridges moving over it. You know, that small mountains, small rocks. And he turned his beak sideways and caught a muesli. For the first time he enjoyed that joy. He was flying over the sea, enjoying the beauty of the sea. He saw a small portion of rock over there and he turned his beak sideways and was happy with his family. His parents and his brother, sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him, and he saw that his parents were floating on the sea. They were beckoning him, calling him. They were showing gesture, come, come, come downside, come on the dive or float. Calling freely, he dropped his leg to stand on the green sea. Now respecting their beckoning or request, he decided to stand on the green sea. As you know, birds, they float on the green sea. His legs sank into it, but my dear, he felt that his legs were in water. He screamed with fright. He was afraid that he would be in the water and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. Now again he attempted to rise again, that thinking that he would be drowned or he would be sunk. But he was tired and weak with hunger. Now he was hungry. He couldn't take a flight. He could not rise. He could not jump. He was exhausted, means very tired. By the strange exercise, he was very tired, as you imagine. For 24 hours, he has been hungry. His feet sank into the green sea. Now he had no option but to keep the feet on the sea, on the surface. Then his belly, his stomach touched it, and he sank no farther. But at last he observed that automatically his stomach or belly touched the surface or water, and he thought or he experienced that he could float. You know, birds generally float on their belly actually. He was floating on it. and around his family was screaming. Now he learned the art of floating also. He knew the art of flying firstly, now he knew the art of floating on the water, on water. And his family was screaming, praising, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. And his parents, siblings, gifted him a wonderful dogfish as a gift. Oh dear young seagull, you are successful. Take this dogfish. Enjoy. This is the gift for you. They might have told like that. He had made his first flight. In this way, he learned the art of flying. He learned the art of balancing. He learned the art of diving. He learned the art of floating. And in this way, he made his first flight. My dear student, very simple lesson of life. In the beginning, we are afraid. I give the example of swimming. Firstly, we just stand at this. What I'm saying, if you are swimming, if you want to swim in the river, what do you do? Do you remember? Just stand looking at your friends at the brink. After that, you try, the water rush into your nose, you again come out, again your friend push you away, you get angry with them, and lastly, you have no option, you jump out after many efforts, you start swimming. This is the same condition, and this is the greatest lesson of success. Firstly, we suffer, we have to muster courage, and lastly, one fine day we become successful. I am sure you must have liked this lesson, and we should learn a great lesson of success from this topic. Thank you. Take care. Happy learning. Thank you.